Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about when is the best time for career and success. When are you going to find a job? This is what I get asked all the time. And particularly a lot of people want to know what their career should be. That's a heavy-handed question. What is my purpose? What am I here to do? And when is the best time for me to have career opportunities? So when we look at this, we always will be looking at the 10th house. The 10th house in astrology is the house that deals with our purpose, deals with our career. And it's the highest, most elevated point where the sun is at noon. If you're born somewhere around noontime, then your sun is somewhere towards the 10th house. So the 10th house is our social standing, how we appear and look to the world. This is very important. And this is going to be what our sense of purpose is all about, the 10th house. So what planets are in the 10th house? That will give a key indication about what direction you'll want to go with your work and your career. So when people have the sun in the 10th house, I always tell them, you should own your own business. You like to be the boss. If you have Mars in the 10th house, you're driven, you're ambitious. And according to what signs these planets are in, will even give us more direction as to what your likes or dislikes are. But Mars being possibly in Capricorn in the 10th house, or Aries or Scorpio, it's extremely strong in those three signs. So something around the area that is ruled by Mars will be an attraction, such as maybe even military, police work, or even engineering, because Mars can rule how things work and the mechanics behind things. So if Venus is there, then you may want to be doing something in the line of beauty products, fashion, design, art, something very creative. And of course, the sign will temper it as well. If it's in Libra, then you know that you're going to have somebody that really likes the arts and to be creative in their line of work. Maybe even a musician. So if we have Saturn there, many times there's somebody that works for the government or for big organizations. That's Saturn. Plus, there is a lot of work and discipline that's around the workplace and the workforce. So if you have Jupiter there, there's major opportunities and expansion in the area of what you do and your work. Jupiter can be the philosopher and the teacher as well if it were in the 10th house. I'm talking about all these planetary placements that are in your 10th house. So talking about the 10th house, let me talk 1 minute before we move on to, if you want to learn Vedic astrology, what I'm doing here. Remember to check out my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. And one more thing, if you want to receive my free newsletter, it tells you all of these predictions every month I put out, go to my website and sign up for my free newsletter, which is galacticcenter.org. And don't forget to check out my spiritual line of jewelry while you're there. So, continuing on with work and career. If you have K2 in the 10th house, you're going to have a very unusual and not conformative or traditional job. So if you have Mercury there, you're going to be in a line of communication, maybe a reporter, maybe a writer, but something where you deliver and pass on information in some way. So that pretty much covers most of the planets. And one last one is Rahu. Rahu definitely is all about success in the workplace, a desire to be successful. And Rahu in the 10th will give that. One I forgot is the moon. If you have the moon in the 10th house, you will be well known for the field that you're into. Why do I say that? Because the moon is the public and the masses. When it's in the 10th house, it can sometimes mean fame, but I'm always looking at it in terms of well known in your business or your line of work. That's what the moon in the 10th will give. So another thing is, when these opportunities are to come, you're going to look at when the transiting planets transit through the 10th house. Now, backing up just one more thing. Many of us don't have any planets in our 10th house, and you feel like, well, did I miss out? What's the deal? Okay, so remember, if there's no planets there, you're going to be looking at the planets that rule the 10th house. And wherever that planet goes to will give you an idea of what you're going to be doing with your work and your career. Okay, so let's just say Mars rules the 10th house. If Mars is in the 5th house, you may be doing something with children or teaching. That's what that will equate to. So you're going to want to go through all the planetary placements. The ruler of the 10th and the 1st, your career will be very important. The ruler of the 10th and the 2nd will be how you make your money, depending on that planet, and that finances and money are very important to you. Ruler of the 10th and the 2nd. Ruler of the 10th and the 3rd, teaching, traveling, writing, communications. Ruler of the 10th and the 4th, you can deal with real estate or property. If you have the ruler of the, as I said before, the 10th and the 5th, children or teaching or an entrepreneur, you're very creative. Ruler of the 10th and the 6th, you could be in a line of service such as restaurants, that type of business where you serve, or a healer, a doctor or a nurse. Ruler of the 10th and the 7th, you will work with a partnership, and you will probably meet your spouse through your career, through your work, and you'll end up working together at some point. But partnerships are important in your workforce. So ruler of the 10th and the 8th, you could be a detective, do research, do scientific research, but you're always about fixing and making things better, getting to the core and the bottom of what's wrong. Maybe someone who fixes other businesses. Or you could deal with insurance, or you could deal with even things around death, maybe funerals. But ruler of the 10th and the 9th, a professor, a teacher, a traveler, higher-minded, lawyer, that's all 9th house. Ruler of the 10th and the 10th, your work and your career is so important to you and you are successful. Ruler of the 10th and the 11th, you will make great sums of money from your work. Remember, the 11th house is the second house from the 10th, making that the money you make from your career and your work. Ruler of the 10th and the 12th, you will work on international projects with foreign people. You could even deal with trade, such as, there's my dog, such as import and export. So that's how this works. Where the ruler of the 10th goes, all these houses will give you an idea as to what your career and your position, your job, your purpose should be. Let's talk about one more thing. When we have planets transiting through the 10th, this can be when opportunities for a job can arrive, such as Mars being a malefic, but every time it goes to the 10th house, it uplifts and gives opportunities in your career and your job. So Mars transiting the 10th. The Sun transiting the 10th. Remember, the Sun will transit your 10th house every year at the same time. And that can be opportune times for you to get a job or get a promotion or upliftment. So go and track that month that the Sun will be in the sign that your 10th house is. And you'll note that is a great time for you career-wise, unless there's other malefics there, of course, transiting, that is. So Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu in the 10th house can mean a job change. You may change jobs, you may get fired, there may be a loss around the company you work for. So if any of the benefics are going through the 10th, such as Jupiter or Venus, this can bring great opportunities. So note, anyone that has, let me just say, transiting Jupiter going through the 10th house, it's going to be an amazing time for promotion and opportunities, okay? And Mercury, which goes every year, there will be a lot more going on in the workplace, a lot more connecting communications. Mercury is a good planet to have transiting the 10th house. And usually when it is, the sun could be there as well, because Mercury and the sun travel together. So that time of year will be very beneficial for you to get a promotion, to get a bonus, to get an opportunity, or get a new job. So these are all the things that I look for when I'm tracking. When will I get a job? What should my career be? Those are the first things, amongst others, which there's actually divisional charts, such as the D10 chart that I would look at. But the main features are what planets are in the 10th house, what planet rules the 10th house, what house does it go to, as well as what's transiting the 10th house in terms of how it's activating your career potential at that time. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Sign up for my free newsletter and check out my jewelry. Plus, if you would love to learn Vedic astrology, join our online community. Check it out, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.